Hi everyone. So today I am going to be talking about communities. Why you should be building one pre-launch. How to put together your brand, communication and content strategy in order to help build one. Setting up your community hub, and most importantly how to turn your community into an extension of your team. I will also explain why and how this can benefit your creative, marketing and business processes, help you raise additional funding and help you mitigate risk at launch. I do not profess to be an expert in the field of community management or marketing, and some of you may already be going through the processes of building your communities and working through your marketing plans. But no matter your level of experience, hopefully you will get some use out of this. Before I get started, I should probably tell you a bit about myself. I'm Justin French, founder and CEO of Dream Harvest. Previous to starting Dream Harvest, I worked in both AAA and indie as a sound designer, composer, project manager and consultant. I also used to teach game design and development at a local college as an industry specialist, where I rewrote the elite level tool tech course, replacing the focus on app development using Visual Basic with games development using Unity and C#Key, giving 60 to 90-year-olds a real taste of industry-relevant skills. I also used to work as a game and tech recruiter for a recruitment agency. Previous to the games industry, I worked in the music industry as a freelance recording and mix engineer at studios across the country, as well as a business advisor to musicians. As a studio, we are developing Ruthless, a cyberpunk real-time strategy game that combines solo, co-op and competitive PvP gameplay into a seamless narrative-driven experience. Our community is central to our business strategy. We started building ours before we even had a playable, and is especially important due to our attempts to really innovate the genre, as car mechanics and expand the potential audience beyond the traditional hardcore competitive gamer player types associated with RTS games. When we develop games, we often start by focusing on ourselves, trying to create an experience or experiences that we do want to play and enjoy. But in reality, we are really building experiences for them, the millions of players out there in the world. I mean, we are businesses, and we need to sell our games to continue to be businesses. The games industry is incredibly risky. Time and time again we are seeing games launch and fail due to a wide variety of reasons, such as the list could probably go on. But the important thing to note is that most, if not all of these points, can be mitigated by effectively building and communicating with your community as early as possible. A community is a sounding board, both pre and post-release. It's a place where you as developers can seek player validation, sanity check your decisions from a design, usability and business standpoint, while also giving players a chance to see the inner workings of the game's development process, where you can show them the reality that game stuff is hard and expensive. Most importantly, this can and will lead to a player buy-in and build faith between developers and their audience, and also helps minimize the likelihood of toxicity within a growing community. Seth Godin, famous marketing guru, your smartest viable audience holds you to account. It forces a focus and gives you nowhere to hide. We have seen the effects of not listening to your audience over the past year within the AAA space with games such as. There is a multitude of other examples that I am sure all of you could list. Studios that treat their audience as cash cows rather than listening to and making informed decisions based on what their audience wants will eventually be lost and forgotten, shunned by their community for not listening. It's essential that we build our studios on a foundation of player trust and open communication, making the players part of the development process, making us accountable for our decisions. Many of us are in a unique position compared to studios working on established franchises with established communities with preconceived expectations, and this means we can start with a relatively clean slate that allows us to control the message we want to give to our players. We hold all the cards and can influence and shape our community before it has a chance to grow to a point where it's autonomous, but this also means that it's essential that the right kind of seeds are sown, so that when the community does grow, it flourishes, growing into something wonderful, instead of something out of our control. So, hopefully, I have convinced you of the importance of creating a pre-launch community. But how exactly do you go about building it? When we first started working on Neuroslacers, we did not do this. We started building our community through a lot of trial and error, feeling our way through the process, and we made a lot of mistakes along the way. I mean, try running a Kickstarter campaign with a game called Failure, what Neuroslacers used to be called. I wish I did known this stuff 3 years ago. But I am also glad we learned the hard way and built upon our experience, which has helped us define who we are now. We can now, hopefully, share a better way to go about doing things. Well, the first step is to make sure you have a good brand and communication strategy in place that can be used by your whole team and which defines how you will attract and talk with your community, acting as a set of guidelines that will give the team direction and motivation. There is a multitude of other benefits and elements that make up the process of branding. The logo, that could be a whole another talk in itself. But here I am just going to cover the key elements you will want in the documents specific to the communication side of things, rather than visual identity. You will want to put together a document with the following. The game elevator pitch. You want the whole team to be able to memorize this. It's a summary of everything that is your game and should be enough to get people excited. Other one. For Neuroslacers is possibly a bit too long, but I have been using it for the past 3 years of pitching, so it's kindistic. Neuroslacers is a highly tactical cyberpunk VTBS that turns the genre on its head by focusing on fast, macro and total information gameplay, short 8 to 12-minute matches, epic global objectives on the dark cyberpunk narrative campaign that seamlessly blends competitive PvP, co-op and single-player into a truly unified gaming experience. Control clever high-powered units. Use powerful hacking abilities that allow you to manipulate the levels, and spawn advanced weaponry and buildings that allow you to take over the network one data node at a time. Vision. This is all about how you want your game to be perceived, what it is aspiring to be, a deeply immersive, narrative-rich and highly tactical experience that is loved and enjoyed by both hardcore strategy fans, as well as the wider mainstream, an unparalleled strategic gameplay experience that puts the player at the center of the story and lets them be in control of their own destiny. Mission. This is usually put before vision and is used to define what your company currently is. But for games, I like to swap vision and mission around and use mission as a statement that explains how you will reach your vision. Focus on higher-level tactical play, shorter matches, high-intensity battles, and exciting memorable, edge-of-your seat moments on the rapid in a deep narrative-driven campaign that combines solo, co-op, and PvP, and which modernizes the genre and brings strategy games into the mainstream while offering lovers of the genre a brand new, experience, and a set of challenges. Values. These are all about common goals. What defines the experience you are creating? You generally should stick to 5 or less. Otherwise, it's hard for your team to memorize. Your brand position is how your game brand differs from other similar games on the market. There might be several things, but for here, just choose what you feel is the strongest. Your game is the only game that. Roots Lasers is the only strategy game that combines pain, co-op and PvP gameplay into a unified narrative-driven experience, with the player and their journey at the center. This section is all about why players will be attracted to your game.